Y ahora vamos a la gente. Aquí.
The cast melted. My body heat turned it back into a shapeless mass of batter.
Me quedo sin borde entonces. F. Entonces me quedo sin masa. Vale, entonces para entrar, supongo.
Do you have a plan to the Athens-Paris coach?
Sí, señorita.
Which rooms are occupied in this car?
The Greek doctor is the only passenger. He is in room 13. I have taken room 15 there to sleep in, and room 16 for my equipment. I hope it is all right. Pierre Michel is using room 11. The chef de cuisine is in 9.
Ya me
Lucien, the
perdió,
waiter,
así
is
que
in
lo voy a arreglar
1-2.
todo, porque me
The
perdió.
engineer is resting in
Desde
10
el
when not
primero.
attending to the boiler. The fireman rests in 3-4.
What equipment?
I am a ham radio operator. Usually I carry the equipment in the baggage car. There is no time to use it when I'm on duty. And anyway, no power. But when we were stopped so suddenly, I thought to check it and found my telegraph key destroyed. I don't understand it. It was packed carefully. I brought the rest here to my room to keep it safe.
Did anyone pass between this car and the Calais coach last night?
Only Pierre. He came through and we talked for a few minutes about the snow and what it will do to the schedule.
When was this?
Sometime after 1 a.m. A few minutes only. We talked for 10 minutes or so. Then Michel fancied he heard a bell. He opened the doors between the two coaches and we both heard it plainly. A bell, ringing repeatedly. Michel ran to answer it.
You boarded the train in Belgrade.
Sí, señorita.
Why were you so late? Your passenger must have boarded by himself, and you yourself almost missed the train.
But this is not so. I was preparing my car as it was being attached. I myself welcomed the Greek doctor and showed him to compartment 13.
I would like to fingerprint you.
¿Ay, señorita?
Everyone.
Oh, then sí, I will submit.
Ha dicho que la huella del pincel te retiro.
Au
¿Y si lo meto en
monsieur.
el hielo? A ver si me deja. ¿Dónde es? ¿Dónde está la ventana rota? Ok. A ver.
Excellent. That is...
¿Y si yo ahora lo meto aquí?
Wait, that is a poirot with a
Perfecto. Ya se derrite, ¿no? Ha hecho con... Pues yo lo voy a mirar todo porque es que ya me perdí yo. 16. A ver si hay alguna huella. Está esto.
I wouldn't want to get...
Pero esto yo necesito algo.
There's no...
Y no lo tengo. A no ser... No. A no ser... No. No tengo nada. Entonces, como no tengo nada... Vamos por acá. 15 Mateo. Mateo.
I enjoy winter, but only when I can look out at it from the comfort of a room with a fire crackling in the fireplace.
¿Y dónde puedo conseguir la huella de Mateo?
I see nothing.
Porque imagino que aquí no, ¿no? Se supone que era el 15, ¿no? No, este es el 14. ¿Por qué me llevaba eso? Ah, no, vale, que hay que... Sí, vale, sí. 14, vacío, Mateo ni nadie. Aquí a lo mejor puedo llevarme... No.
I won't find any...
Hombre, ¿qué tal, señor?
I would like to take your fingerprints.
What is that you say? I protest. I have nothing to do with this crime.
Everyone must be
Que me da la
fingerprinted.
guayada.
Refuse? No, of course not. Let's get it over with.
Me va a decir a mí que no. Te reviento. No hay nada en el 12. Miche. Ojo.
I'll take that key, Mr. Hardman. If you don't give it to me, I can have a couple of the train's staff take it from you.
I'd like to see them try.
Ojo.
Would you really? Pierre Michel's passport and an old photograph. I'll just
Dale,
borrow both
niña.
of them. What were you doing going through Michel's belongings?
Your job.
You know I am assisting Monsieur Poirot.
Sure. Begin the interrogation.
What is your profession?
I'm a salesman. Typewriting ribbons.
Do you always travel first class, Monsieur Hartman?
Sure. The firm pays my traveling expenses.
Where is your destination?
Paris.
And from there,
New York.
what can you tell me about the murder?
Nothing at all.
That is a pity. What were you doing outside Monsieur Ratchet's window?
Okay, there were footprints there. Man's shoe, but not a large one. Size 7, maybe. I followed the tracks, then it looked like whoever made them put on some snowshoes and headed out over that deep snow near the back of the train.
I would like to take your fingerprints.
I guess it's okay.
Perhaps, Monsieur Hartman, you could tell me why I found a blackjack, or sap as I believe it's called, in your suitcase?
How do you know what it's called?
Crime is a hobby of mine.
Yeah? Well, why don't you try knitting instead?
Oh.
People are serious about this investigation, aren't you?
Of course. You have heard of Monsieur Poirot?
Yeah, I have. I think I better come clean, or I could find myself in a lot of hot water here.
I would advise you to come clean.
Okay, I don't know anything, like I said. But I ought to know something. That's what makes me sore. I ought to.
¿Por
My
qué?
passport's a bit of a bluff. That's who I really am.
Please explain.
I showed up at the appointed time. Ratchet put me wise to the situation.
The threatening letters.
Yeah, he showed me 2 of them.
Did Monsieur Ratchet seem alarmed by the letters?
Pretended not to be, but he was rattled all right.
What instructions did he give you?
I was to travel by the same train he did to Paris and see that nobody got him. That's the thing. I did travel by the same train, and in spite of me, somebody did get him. I feel sore about that. Doesn't look any too good for me.
Did he have any idea who the letters were from?
Well, Ratchet described him to me.
What?
Sure. Said he was a small man, dark, with a kind of womanish voice.
Did Monsieur Ratchet not tell you the man's name?
Nope.
Ratchet was Cassetti, the Armstrong murderer.
No kidding. Should have recognized him. I mean, I suppose I saw photos of him in the papers and everything. Well, that explains it. Cassetti made a lot of enemies in the American underworld. He often skipped when the heat was on, leaving his partners in crime to face the music. Some assassin finally caught up with him. Hey, I've really fallen down on this thing. With a famous detective like Mr. Poirot on the case, too. This won't do my rep any good with my boss, Mr. McNeil, if it gets back to him.
I'm in the same predicament, Monsieur Hartman, believe me.
You are? Well, that's good. I mean, bad for you, but... Say, listen. If we could keep the mess I've made out of this thing between ourselves...
Depende.
I must tell Monsieur Poirot everything.
Oh, sure. I'll have to swallow my professional pride there, but if we can keep it on this side of the Atlantic, maybe, I'd really appreciate it.
I'll see what I can do. Do you know anyone connected with the Armstrong case who matches the description Monsieur Ratchet gave you?
Well, that's hard to say. They're mostly dead, aren't they?
Yes, Mrs. Armstrong, Colonel Armstrong, the nursemaid who threw herself out a window.
I remember now. The nursemaid was suspected. She killed herself even though she was eventually cleared.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Snow is very bright. So, yeah, that nursemaid was a foreigner, I think. Maybe she had some foreign relations or something. But that wasn't the first time Cassetti had run that kidnapping stunt. I bet there are lots of people had it in for him.
Please tell me your movements after dinner last night.
I played some cards with that Italian guy at the front on the coach. Then when people started turning in, I went back to my room. Stayed up all night. Had my door a bit ajar so I could keep watch. But nobody could see me. You get it?
I understand how it is done, yes.
Hostia, más preguntas.
Could you see the attendant from that position?
Sure. He sits on that little seat right past my room.
Can you describe his movements?
Let's see. He answered a couple of bells after the snow stopped us. Went back into the rear coach for 10 minutes or so. Then there was a bell ringing like mad, and he came running back. I got a bit nervous over that, but it was just that talkative American dame raising hell about something or other. Bit later, he headed off to make somebody's bed up. Then he settled in.
Did you see anyone moving up and down the passage?
Nope.
Is there anyone on the train who can confirm your identity?
My credentials are taped to the bottom of the table in my compartment along with my real passport. I'm sure you can find them.
Do you smoke, Monsieur Hartman?
Sure. I've got some cigarettes in my room. Come on by this evening after things quiet down. I can be far more entertaining than that mouse of a
Ni
woman.
de broma.
No,
ni
thank
muerta.
you. Good day, Monsieur.
Y no se va, se queda aquí. Vale. No sé dónde estoy.
I enjoy winter, but only when I can look out at it from the comfort of a room with a fire crackling in the fireplace.
No hay nada nuevo aquí.
I can't see anything of interest.
¿Dónde era el que me salía? ¿No me salía antes un jarrón, una flor o algo así? ¿Dónde era eso? El 11 y el 10. El 9.
I've already...
Aquí no hay nadie, ¿no? Y no, no, tampoco.
I can't see anything of interest. I enjoy...
7, 8. ¿Aquí?
Quite interesting.
Vale, aquí era el de las flores.
It has a fingerprint on it. I obtained a clear print and have filed it.
Vale. Y no hay nada más, ¿no? Por aquí.
This one...
Abajo no hay nada, ¿no? Los de estos. No, tampoco he mirado, ¿eh? Este es donde está yo. Sí. Este es donde está ahora, ¿no?
I enjoy...
Está ese en este.
The weather looks quite... I wouldn't want to...
Que ni nada, ¿no? Ese es este, ¿no? Espérate.
Nothing of it.
No. Vale, aquí. Mira aquí.
I enjoy winter, but only when I can look out at it from the comfort of a room with a fire crackling in the fireplace.
Lo que no sé yo ahora si tengo ya todos los pasaportes y huellas. Ok.
The door is locked.
Y por esto, ¿qué llave le quito yo a este? Segunda llave maestra. Pero yo no le he quitado una llave... Vale. Llave pequeña. Los efectos de... Los efectos. De Miche. Necesito doblarlo con algo esto.
Mille pardon, mademoiselle.
¿Y si lo doblo con el alicate?
The copper bracelet is now straight with a hooked end.
Que no soy yo porque quiero un gancho, será para otra cosa. Y llave pequeña para abrir algo. ¿Dónde puedo abrir yo algo? Y la llave esta, a ver si puedo...
I am sorry, mademoiselle.
Aquí. Vale, para no tener que estar saliendo y entrando.
The key worked.
Perfecto. ¿Sabes? Para no tener que estar pum, 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 pum. Voy a mirar si ya tengo todo. Pues me faltaron, no sé. Y que por esto ya voy a guardar.
Ah, your return. Is there more to report to me, mademoiselle?
Creo que sí lo tengo ya todo.
And that is every...
We progress, mademoiselle. Now, let us see what we can learn.
Ah, ya mira esto.
I think I have secured all the fingerprints.
Très bien, mademoiselle. You have done well.
I believe I have collected all the passports.
Unfortunately, I
No?
do not think so, mademoiselle. So please to make certain next time, huh?
¿Qué me falta?
Remember our challenge.
Colonel Arbuthnot saw the attendant and thinks he caught the scent of a woman.
Ah, the scent of a woman. You have found a romantic streak
falta
I would not have
pasaporte.
suspected one so stolid to possess.
The timetable is very complete now.
Oh yes, it is essential to the understanding of the crime.
El
Study it
de
carefully.
muerto lo cogí yo.
We have many alibis we can use to eliminate
Ahora voy a mirar a
suspects.
ver si hay un
Yes,
pasaporte o algo.
too many.
Porque no me acuerdo si
Compare
fue
them
de
all.
muerto.
Look for
Pero voy a mirar los
discrepancies.
pasaportes que tengo.
We must be certain that they do not leak the water.
Madame Hubbard heard a woman in Monsieur Ratchet's room.
Wait. And about the time you heard the noise and saw the woman in the scarlet kimono. So, does a woman speak to Monsieur Ratchet, murder him, drop a handkerchief with the letter H, then scurry off down the corridor in a scarlet kimono? Or does Madame Hubbard hallucinate a woman's voice as well as the man in her room?
Both Madame Hubbard and Mademoiselle Olsen confirm the connecting door was locked.
An attendant's pass key opens even connecting doors, I think, so I am not so baffled by that locked door.
Hay puertas cerradas.
Colonel
mirar.
Arbuthnot saw Monsieur Hardman watching the corridor from his room.
Monsieur Hartmann's door opens to the right, so unfortunately he could see little of the corridor, but he would have seen if anyone entered the Calais coach from the Athens-Paris coach.
The stiletto I found in the hut must be the murder weapon.
That would seem to be the obvious conclusion. It is the weapon of the underworld assassin, to be sure. And with fingerprints which match no one's aboard this train.
Hardman's actions were very suspicious.
And the key he discovers in Michel's clothing that opens the door to the security room in the baggage car is suspicious as well.
El coche de equipaje, vale. Coche de equipaje.
Princess
¿Dónde estaba
Dragomirov
eso?
was Sonia
No me
Armstrong's
acuerdo.
godmother.
Al final.
Oui, it is coincidence, or something more. Merci, mademoiselle. Unfortunately, the report it is not yet
Pues no, me
complete.
faltan cosas porque me
We
faltan
are
cosas
now
aparte,
armed
dicho.
with much more additional knowledge than before. Continue the investigation, and do not be afraid to go over the ground you have already covered.